Hey there, this is Rosa from Rosa Rubio Giotto from RCG Creations. I'm here to do another video here, and this one's going to be for a swap that I have on Facebook, and it's called the Bumblebee Greeting Card. So what I've done is I'm using this die that I have in my stash. I've cut two cards because I'm going to make one, and then I'm going to put all the pieces together for her to take and make what she wants if she wants to do it. So we've got two of the card bases, two of the card fronts, and I'm using this little embossing folder so we can show the little bee flying all over the place. So what I'm going to do first is set it up, and I'm going to use my die cutting machine. I use the Gemini. Put my plates in here. Let me go run it through the machine. Okay. And there's the impression. I hope you can see that on the video there. So I'm going to do the other card next. This is the one good thing about when you do, because you with 8.5 by 11 cardstock, you're able to do two cards. One to keep, one to give away, or give them both away. Totally up to you. They're yours to do what you want with. So it's a really nice time saver. I personally, if I'm not in a swap, I go ahead and make an extra card, and I'll change it for whatever holiday's coming up, or like if it's somebody's birthday or anniversary. That way I can go ahead and have an extra card made, and then all I do is just change the message around if it applies. It doesn't always apply, but if it does. And there's the other one, and I'm going to cut that down to fit. But we're through with that. Oh, and I need to get some cardstock to cut out that little bee. Let's see. There's my little bee. As long as I have it big enough to cut, yep, that'll work. And this is just scraps that I have in my stash that I save. Things like this, because I can reuse them for things like this. Oh, that'll work. That'll fit. So let me get my sandwich. The bottom plate, base plate, plastic shim, my magnetic mat, and I'm sure it's all wore out. I just duct tape it until it falls apart, but until then I'm going to continue to use it because it still works just fine. Okay, so I know I like to angle all my dies at a certain angle. Okay, and then the blade is face up because it's going to cut into this. This is the cutting plate. And just use whatever sandwich that's made for your machine, whatever you're going to use, whatever you have. I also do have the Cuttlebug. I also have the grain caliber. But when I got the Gemini, that's pretty much all I use. But I still have my other machines, which I will never get rid of, because power goes out, I can't use the Gemini. Or if it breaks, I like to always have a backup. So I will never get rid of my other machines. You know what? I totally spaced out. I cut it, but I forgot to put the paper on top. Duh. So that's a waste. You know what? I'm going to see if I can save this. Yep, if I can line it right up. See, if you line it right up to where it indented the first time, I could actually save this scrap of paper. Okay, I messed up, but it was in your favor. And I'm going to put some tape here just to make sure that it doesn't move on me. Because it is going through a machine, so you never know. Let's run it through again. Let's see. There we go. Yay! It's nothing like having a mess up, but having it work out. So everything come out. I'll feed my little. Let me get my little bristle brush, and I'm just gonna poke all the little pokey tools out of that. Okay, that's a little stubborn one, doesn't want to come out. Some of these little ones don't, but they all pretty much come out pretty easy. And there's the little bumblebee. Okay, I'm gonna do this again. Wipe all my extras. And going to line it up. I'm not going to bother to clean the bee because it's going to get through. So that works there. I tore up my tape, but I keep little scraps here because I reuse it until there's no more sticky, and I just keep it on the side of the machine. This part I don't need, and since this is trash, I'm just going to tear this away. I don't need that. If it was a bigger piece, I'd save it, but I don't need to save it. Run it through my machine again. I'm sure you can hear it, because that's the one bad thing about the Gemini. It is noisy. A friend of mine has a Gemini Junior, and another one has the Gemini Go, which is a small one, but they're all the same. They're all noisy. That's the one good thing about the manual machines, like the Sizzix, the Big Shot. Those, they're not near as noisy because they're manual, they're not electric. Okay, that worked. And this is more than enough for a message or a sentiment, so I'm going to hang on to that because I am going to have a message put on here. So I'll save that for in a future use in just a few minutes. You know what, I just realized I didn't pick up my message, so I'm going to have to pause this. I'll wait till I get to a breaking point, then I'm going to pause it and go get my message, and I'll come back. But not yet. I'll wait and continue going until I get to that point, because this is going to be a little bit long of a video, and my digital camera somehow, I still haven't figured out how to, it stops right in the middle of, after a certain time frame. I think it's like after 15 minutes. It stops recording automatically. And I don't know how to fix it. If anybody out there does, please contact me. I do put my email address, or just place a comment below in the comments on how to fix that on the digital camera. It's just one of those little Instamatic digital cameras, so it's nothing special. And there we go. And then there's the other little bee. So I'm going to put that to the side because that's going to be the one that's going to go to her. And there's the base card. Here's her card, but I'm going to go ahead and cut to fit my base. So, and if you notice, I did the edges and all that because I am going to cut around it. So, and I like to make it look like the bees flying out, so it's not on mark. Okay, so we're going to line them up here. I'm actually going to cut down there, and actually that's going to be a good spot there and there. So, use the edge of my trimmer. And you see that's a good spot. I wanted to leave a border, so that works out good. And actually I'm going to put this just below that. That's a piece of fuzz, because I doubt it's a pencil mark, because I haven't used a pencil mark yet. Garbage. This is too small. I could save it for something, but like for a message, but it's like not worth saving for me. Okay, so that lines up there, and actually, you know, that is an eraser mark of some kind. So I'm just going to erase it. Maybe it was on using another card, and it was a tack mark. Okay, so now let's get the other card. This is the card front. Same thing. Gonna eyeball it right on the edge here, and then right below here. And you see here, this is kind of off. Can you see that? So I'm gonna go ahead. That one's straight, but it's off back here. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it, trim it off again to trim that edge, just because I want a smooth edge. And now it's straight. Oh, yep, that's straight. Yep, that's straight. Okay, so now let's go back, give myself, cut it, give myself a little bit of a border, trim that off, measure it to make sure it's good to go here, and yes it is. And then here, I was going to cut most of the squiggly line. I didn't want to do that. Actually, I kind of want to keep that, because I want to do that. I'm going to rearrange this. See, okay. See, I want to save this little squiggly line because that's just me. I just want to save that. Okay, so now I'm going to be able to cut, and I know I can cut down here on the bottom half. So here's the top of my card. Here's the top half. And there it is. Okay, so that's done. That's done. Now let's get our little bees. Okay, I got I'm using Spectrum Noir Markers. I start off with my yellow, and actually I'm not going to use the yellow. They're all yellow with a little bit of black. So I'm actually going to do the CT3 because it's a little bit darker. And because this is a small area. Oh, let me get my scrap paper. Okay, where did I put my scrap paper? Sorry guys, I thought I had it already set up, but I guess I didn't. Okay, now this is just scrap that I have. So I'm just gonna, his head is black, so I'm just gonna color, and I'm actually gonna use the blunt tip to make this go a lot faster. See, so coloring doesn't really take long when you're doing something simple like this. Oh, I was going to say, what's dark? I forgot the tape stuck when I ran it through the machine. So I need to take this tape off. And it just peels right off. Just scrape it off with your nail and it comes right off. But now it's sticking to my finger. It's like, ah! Okay. Take all the tape off. Peel that off. Okay. Oops. Let me finish painting his body yellow. Okay, that's one color. Now let's go to CT4, and I'm going to use the fine point, just because I want to give it some shadowing. You can color it however you want to color it. I just know that in real life they have different shades of yellow, kind of an orangey color. But I want to make it as yellow as much as possible to make it look real. Okay. That works. Oops, I'm not done. Duh. I did the back. I did it backwards. I did the wrong side. I inked the dark color on the wrong side. This is the soft part. That's the the top part. This is the back part. It's kind of a little bit rough, and I wasn't paying attention. So let me go back in with the darker, which is the CT4. And just give them some little streaks. Okay, that takes care of that one. Now let's make his body. Let's do the, I'm not going to do the dead black, but I am going to get close to that. This is IG8, IG6, IG10, and then here's my black. Do my fine point. And basically all I'm doing, I do want his antenna to be black. But this is more or less his head and his body. And then I'm going to get him some little sparkle gems for his eyes. So he's going to have a little bit of a sparkle there. And do the same thing with this guy. And since I have my scrap paper, I'm okay if I go over because I'm good to go. So if you can, always remember to have some scrap paper on hand. So that way if you run over or if it bleeds, it's not a big deal. It doesn't get your work surface messed up. Okay. That was IG6. Now let's go with IG10 to go a shade darker. Yeah, there we go. I just want to do a little coloring, nothing major. And then you see where I got a little bit of white right there? Once you've laid it down and you think you're done, always pick it up to see if you're missing anywhere, because, you know, we are coloring on paper here. And you want to be able to color everything that could possibly be seen, because you just never know what the other person, what anybody's going to do with it, actually. So now I'm just going to do some shading here. I want to need that little gray speckle there. Make it look a little bit of a highlight. Let's see, IG, that's brown. Oh, actually that's a light gray. BG8, BG6. This is more of a lighter gray. I want to make sure, so if I test it, yep. See how they lighten that up? The alcohol and reacts with the other alcohol. Okay, so those are done. Now let's get the black. Let's color his antennae. And see the two tones, or the between the antenna and the body. I just, you know, there is a difference in the color. I'm not exactly for sure how much of a difference, but I wanted to show that there was a difference. Okay, and then I'm just going to highlight the wings black because I want them to be pronounced. And because this is so delicate, it's a little hard to do. I'm actually going to go to the nub part. Let's see if that's easier. Makes it, yeah, it's a lot easier. It makes the coloring go a lot faster. And see, there's the black on the wings because I'm going to use some white vellum. Gotta cut those out. I'm going to put them on the back, and that's what you're going to be able to see. And you see that when you angle it, you can kind of see the white in the wings there. So, and then do you see this part right down here? There's that white. So you want to color that in. And do the edges, because that will be seen. So it's always good to pick up your project, especially when you're coloring delicate items like this, and move it around and see what you do and don't see. And then here I see on this wing, and all it means is the alcohol did not saturate to that end for whatever reason. That's just part of coloring with alcohol markers. Alrighty, I see a few stragglers here. I'm just angling in and coloring wherever I see white. Let me get the side of his head's antennae, the side of his head. Oops, I just saw something. Okay, that's a pretty good job. Now let's do the other one. This is going by a lot faster because I'm using the big nib of the marker, which makes your projects go a lot faster, which is what they're meant for. And these Spectrum Noir markers are refillable. You can get more ink refills on them, and you can also get replacement nibs. So if they wear out, you can replace the nibs on both ends. That's one reason why I like these kind of markers, these alcohol markers. So I always go, I've got a few of the Copics. I don't have the entire collection, but then I also don't have the entire collection of the Spectrum Noir. I just go with whatever my budget says I can handle. And you know, most of the colors on the color wheel, so you don't really need all the colors because you can mix and match, because with the alcohol they absorb, and part of blending is making your own colors, so you don't necessarily need all of the colors. Now if you're doing a lot of flesh tones, I would highly recommend you get all the colors on that, because flesh tones really are a lot harder to match, and it sure is a lot easier to have more variety of colors to pick from. But you can, like everything else, you can always make do with what you got. Okay, so that took care of those two. Move my scraps over here to the side, and I forget, there's a name for this paper. I forget what it's called, but I'm thinking, no, not that one, I'm sorry. I want this one. The white vellum. This is my vellum. It's a little bit thicker. There's different thicknesses, so you can't, if you do the little thicker one, It's easier if you want to emboss, you can emboss on it, and it won't warp on you so much. So let me go and put this through my machine, because I'm going to die cut. This. Here I go again, putting it backwards. I don't think I need to tape it because it's a big piece of paper. I think I'm good to go. I think I'll be fine. And it's, yeah, to make sure that I want to make sure I put the right, yeah, cut blade side up so it cuts into my paper. Okay, let's close this up, feed it to the machine. What I should have done is cut this paper, vellum, and run them both at the same time, because as thin as it is, you would cut them both at the same time. And that would have saved me some time. But I didn't think about it, but I should have done that to speed the time up. Okay, so... You know what? I just messed up. Because it's cutting out the wings. I want the whole wing. So I need something solid for the whole wing, because I want the whole wing behind it. There, I messed up. Okay, I messed up. We're going to fix this. Put this away. I'm not going to do that. I am going to get my... This is a dud. I'll do something with it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and trace this, and then I'm going to fussy cut it. Because this is what I want to do. And this one I will do twice. So let me get a trimmer here. Trim that out. Save this for a future project. Trim this out. Garbage. Trim that out. Okay, get my scissors. Okay, so now I just want to cut this out. And since I'm doing both at the same time, and all I really want is the wings. I don't want anything else. Trying to think of, see how much of a space. I don't want to cut too much off, but I want to cut enough off. Okay, now I can go from here. And all I'm doing is cutting around that pencil mark. Okay, because it's 2 layers, I want to be careful. So I'm taking extra time on my fussy cutting. The camera went off, like I said earlier, so it must have already been 15 minutes. So sorry about that. We'll just splice it together. That's something I'm learning how to do. Okay. That should take care of the wings. Let's hope I did a good job. And I'm just trimming the little corner edges here. Sorry about that. The battery went out on the digital camera. Let me get back in focus here. Off camera while the battery was charging, what I did was I finished off the two bumblebees. There they are. And I put the vellum, then I cut around it. I just traced around it and cut it. And then I used my Spectrum Noir sparkle pens and I made the little glitter. And hopefully you can see the glitter on the yellow and then the wings of the butterfly. And then I just put those little beads for the eyeballs. Kind of look a little weird, but it's kind of scary a little bit. But and you just work with what you've got, you know. Now what I'm going to do is stamp a message here. What I've done, let me go back and show you. So what I've done is on my original card base, which is this right here, I got a black marker and I just highlighted the little swirl lines of where the bees traveled. And then I added this specialty paper. There's a name for it, but I don't know what it is. And it's kind of hard to tear. I don't know what it is, but I like it. I've had this in my stash for quite some time. But I have that in the blue and in the yellow. So what I did, I just trimmed a little bit and just for an accent piece. But I did mess up, so pay attention so you don't do the same thing I did. See here, I did this good. But here, I forgot to trim the green before I put the yellow on. So I'm gonna actually just put something sparkly right there, like it, and cover it up so nobody knows that I messed it up. So now what I did was just I glued on with adhesive the card front to the card base. Now I'm getting ready to stamp the message on top, and I'm hoping it's going to work because I've already embossed and I don't want to smooth out the embossing. I think it's going to work, but I just want to make sure. So okay, now what I've got is a message, but the stuff that I had, I was trying to find it here for you just so you have it, so you can see it. And this is from a stamp set that I've had in my stash for quite some time, but I'm going to be using this one, Sending Cheerful Thoughts Your Way. And since it's all swirly, I thought it would be kind of cute. And I'm going to stamp it right in there, because what I'm going to do is put the little bee down in here somewhere, so that gives me plenty of room. So now I need to find some green ink. Let me find me some green ink. Okay, let's see. Green. That's kind of a light green, but I want a dark green. Let's go with Cucumber Crush. I think that'll work. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it on my sample just to see what the color looks like before I actually do it on the card itself. It won't be exact, but at least it'll give me a rough idea of what color green it's going to look like. Oh yeah, I like that. That's a good color. Okay, so ink my stamp. Use my stamp apparatus. Push down just on the letters Because you can see it kind of wiped off, and I didn't wipe it off, and I really should have, but I was kind of in a hurry because this is already a lengthy video. And I'm just pushing down on the letter so it stamps good. And look, you can definitely see that, sending cheerful thoughts your way. So that's great. I don't think I need to double stamp it. So I'm good to go there. Take this off. Take that off. I will clean this here later. Then let me get my pop-up dots, because I definitely want to pop up the butterfly. Let me use my... Actually, I'm going to do a bigger one. I'm going to do some big foam too. I'm not going to use those. I'm going to make it easy on myself. And here I have a roll of solid. And I'm just going to get my... I like to get... Whenever I'm cutting anything with adhesive, I always like to use my Teflon coated scissors, so I don't have to take anything off. And then that's a little thick, so I'm going to cut that in half. And then that's going to be for the body. And this is also going in the mail, so I'm going to put extra tape here. Aw, see? Oh, I looked out. It's, you can't see it, the foam, but I just barely made it. It's just right on the edge, but you can't really see it from the outside, so I was lucky on that one. And I know I'm trying to rush because I'm trying to speed up this video, but I need to calm down because rushing usually causes mistakes. So I'm paying attention. And that's just a little long. That I don't mess up. But I definitely want to leave... I don't want this to get bent or squished while it's in shipment to the postal service. And then let me get a little one for the head. And I'm going to put one there in the body just since I have it for extra support. And now I'm just going to take the release paper off. And that's going to get garbaged. And as you can see from earlier, this stuff is a lot better than those little squares, because it just comes right off. And really the little squares typically do that, but that must be a bad batch, because I've ordered from the same place, but those are starting to stick for some reason. Okay, so I've taken it all off. And then here's my card. I don't like to put things right in the dead center, but I definitely want him to look like he's swirling around. So let's put him here. I'm just pushing down. And there's my finished card. It says, sending cheerful thoughts your way. It's not overly noticeable, but that's okay because I don't want to take away from the main item, which is the bee. And it's just something different. And then, of course, the recipient, who I'm giving the swap to, can put in whatever message she wants to. But there it is. And then the recipient's also going to get card base, card front, the little bee. And I'm going to have to cut another strip of the yellow, but here's a strip of the green. And if she wants to put it all together the same as I did, great. If she wasn't doing it her way, that's totally up to her, but I'm going to cut her another strip. So she'll be getting both of those as a thank you from me. And thank you so much for watching. Please hit like and subscribe. and also share. And I would love any comments, good or bad, negative, any kind of criticism. I'm very open to. Just be nice. And thank you so much for watching, and you have a wonderful day. See you in the next video. Here is the completed card. I went ahead and added the same embellishments that I put on the eyes, the little black little rhinestones on the corners here to cover up the mess up that I made. But there it is. Hope that's in focus for you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. See you in the next video. Please hit like, share, post a comment, and thank you so much. Have a great day now.